there's this thing called, as you may or may not know, Instagram theme pages. Now, for those of you who probably don't know what an Instagram theme page is, an Instagram theme page is a faceless page that posts specific content for a specific group of people. And have you ever heard of pages like, I don't know, The Shade Room?
Yep.
Wealth, Spiritual Word,
Yep.
Hollywood Unlocked.
Yep.
These are all faceless Instagram pages. And the crazy thing about it is these pages have been right in front of our faces for years, and they make a crap ton of money just for present posts on the platform.
Are you ready? We're gonna run the play. Let's
Do you
go.
know what it's like to come from nothing at all, but every day you just wanting it all? Do you know what it's like? Every day facing your fear, but believing that your blessing is near. Do you know what it's like? Growing up broker than most, but still being devoted the most. Do you know what it's like? Yeah, that's what the journey's about. Yeah, let me show you how.
What's going on, y'all? This is Justin Owens, back at the Run the Play show. I help break down the top plays of success from top leaders, entrepreneurs, and personalities by sharing gems from their personal playbook. And today, this guy has a unique form of marketing, which I actually am intrigued to talk about. We got Taijaun in the building. He's going to talk to us a little bit about social media. He said even faceless pages. So I think that, especially for the introverts, you might want to pay attention here because, you know, we're going to talk about how you can make some money, I think, on social media, but in a unique way that I think I'm interested for the conversation because I haven't heard this one yet. So, you know, I'm open to it, man. So welcome to the locker room, man. How you
I
feeling?
appreciate you for having me, brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So let's start here, right? Like, it's a lot of different platforms of social media right now.
Yep.
Where would you start today? Brand new, nothing's jumping. I got, 200 followers on Instagram, 100 on TikTok, 5 subscribers on YouTube. Like, where would you start and why?
Instagram, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Instagram. Okay. All right, talk to me.
Now, Instagram, the reason why I'm taking Instagram is because there's this thing called, as you may or may not know, Instagram theme pages. Now, for those of you who probably don't know what an Instagram theme page is, an Instagram theme page is a faceless page that posts specific content for a specific group of people. And have you ever heard of pages like, I don't know, The Shade Room?
Yep.
Wealth, Spiritual Word, Hollywood Unlocked.
Yep.
These are all faceless Instagram pages. And the crazy thing about it is these pages have been right in front of our faces for years, and they make a crap ton of money just for present posts on the platform.
Wow. Okay. So, so I'm following it. But so, like, it would probably be hard to make another Shade Room today, right? Or no?
Nah, it wouldn't be hard. Now, are you going to be as big as the Shade Room tomorrow? Absolutely not. It's going to take time. If you actually go to Instagram, you type in the Shade Room, you click their little name, it's going to tell you the date that they actually started. And they started about 9 to 10 years ago. Yeah. But the crazy thing is, what if I told you that the Shade Room is making upwards of $10 million per year just for posting on Instagram?
Dang, yeah.
You'd probably be intrigued to start a page, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's interesting. Dang. That's why they post a lot, I guess.
Exactly. That's why they post a lot. But the crazy thing is, like, think about it. Who is the owner of the Shade Room?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know from Timbuktu. They never have to show their face. They don't create any of the content themselves because they have a whole team in place for it. But most importantly, they found a way to make money from social media in the time that they spend using it. There's a statistic going around that the average person in the United States spends over 2 hours a day on social media, but 95% of them don't make nothing from it. And imagine if you can make something from social media in the time that you use it. This is why I'm taking Instagram, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because obviously the knowledge that I know and that I have now, but Instagram is 100% going to be the way to go.
Got it. Okay. So I get on Instagram. Where do I start? Like, do I think, okay, what do I like?
Exactly.
And I start.
So, what are some of your interests?
Me, pickleball, football, business.
Stop right there. Football. All right. You ever heard of Bleacher Report?
Yep.
That's an Instagram theme page. The page that posts all them highlights, they have like over 20 million followers. That's an Instagram theme page. You and I don't know who's the person behind that page.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I forget exactly which sports highlights page it was, but for all of you who follow sports highlights pages, those are Instagram theme pages. You don't know who the owner is, and they just post content. They repost content that's already surfacing the internet. And the crazy thing is, pages, I can't remember the exact sports page, the sports highlights page, but one of those sports highlights pages actually got acquired by ESPN or Sports Center, I believe. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay. So let's go back though. How did you figure out this was a lane inside of social media?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I've been into social media since I was 16 years old. Okay. I'm now 22. And what I did was I was selling something at the time. I was selling a product. and I need to know how to actually get people to buy this product. A lot of times when we start businesses, we never think about how we're going to make money, how we're going to generate sales, how we're going to bring eyes to this business. And I found Instagram theme pages. I came across it somehow, some way, and I was like, oh, you can pay some of these big Instagram pages with hundreds of thousands of followers at this time, $50, they'll post you on your page, you bring their followers back home to you, and you make sales. So this is how it all started a few years ago. I was using these pages to make money, to drive business to my product that I was selling at the time. And I thought to myself, over the year, I was sending these pages like $50, I'll make back $2,000 in a single day. I remember one time I sent a page $200 and I made back over $5,000 in a span of 24 hours. And this is something that was happening consistently. I'm like, yo, this is an untapped thing. These pages are making me a crap ton of money. I ran it out for that whole year, and I said to myself, I look back at my sheet, because I have a tracker that tracks all of this. I realized that I sent these pages over $100,000 within the last year, and I said to myself, what would that look like if I owned a page and I didn't have to pay anybody else, and instead I had people paying me? And that's how it all started.
Wow, okay. So you start the pages, and then so like, I guess my question would be like, that it's faceless, but then now I got to create content.
Great question, creating content. The cool thing is, it's just like the news. The news, how does the news make their money? How do they get all the eyes? How do they garnish the eyes on their specific news company, so to say? How do they do it? They all do the same thing.
They take what's happening.
They take what's happening in the world, but guess what? They're taking other people's stories. And it's kind of the same thing with digital, on digital with Instagram, is you're taking other people's content, you're reposting other people's content. Think about it like this, it's a win-win-win. Because guess what? Let's say you have an Instagram theme page, it doesn't even matter how many followers you have. Let's say you posted something, I had a sports highlights page, what's your favorite sport?
Football.
Let's say you was in college or you was in the NFL, you had a crazy highlight where you just one-hand maul somebody like Odell Beckham Jr. back when that whole highlight.
I remember.
Imagine you did something like that, and it just went crazy. You're a D1 college player, you try to make it to the NFL, it just went crazy. Everybody started posting it. My question to you is this. As me being a page owner that has a page that has 1 million followers at the time, and you're just this up-and-coming NFL soon-to-be star, my question to you is this. Would you mind if I posted your clip on my page and from the 1 million people that are gonna see this and I tagged you? Would you mind it? It would help you, right?
Right.
It'll garnish more eyes to who you are as a person and as an athlete. And that's what it is with these pages. You can literally just use other people's content, give them their respective rights and say, hey, credits to at whoever it is. And guess what? It's a win-win-win for everybody. You post content that your audience likes. The person who created the content garnishes new eyes or whatever it is to their brand or to whoever it is, to whoever they are as a person. And I mean, the person that's consuming the content gets to enjoy this content. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. We take pieces of content, I don't want to say take, but we repost content from other people that are in our niche.
Data. And then how do I avoid, because I know like Instagram's been doing a lot with copyright infringement and stuff.
Yeah.
Like how do you avoid that? Is it the credit, giving credit? Is that
exactly,
the main way?
Exactly. So the main way to do that in today's day and age, I've actually never had this issue up until recently. And the way to combat that is literally by giving people their credit.
Okay.
I'll be completely honest. Excuse me, when I first started, I wasn't giving people their credits. Yeah. That's where I messed up. That's where I messed up. And what I realized is these people need their credit. At the end of the day, I'm using their content. That's the least I can do.
Yeah.
So we just shifted up, we changed that, and we just give credits to every single person that gets posted on our platform. And what I realized 90% of the time, people don't mind. They don't really trip about it. Because at the end of the day, it's bringing eyes and awareness to whatever it is that they're doing. In the very rare instance that somebody doesn't want it, they'll say, hey, can you take it down? You take it down. It doesn't hurt anybody, but that's very, very rare.
Got it. Okay. All right. So, because with Instagram today, it's not as easy as it used to be to build a follower base.
I think it's actually easier right now.
Okay, so explain that. So give me your thought process.
The reason I think it's easier is because we're in a day and age, we're in an economy where social media platforms are constantly competing with each other. You know why so many kids and so many people are stuck on TikTok?
Because the organic reach.
The organic reach is insane. I don't know if you've ever posted something on TikTok and it went insanely viral.
Yeah.
Why there's a dopamine rush every single time somebody has something go viral and they're getting a whole bunch of likes, notifications on their phone. This is why kids are posting TikToks, teenagers, young adults are posting TikToks. They're going crazy viral, and all of a sudden they're a TikTok influencer.
Yeah.
Right? Because of how much is being pushed out. Instagram is competing with TikTok. They see what's happening on that platform. They see that's the reason why TikTok grew so fast, and they're literally competing with it. And what I realize is now Instagram is pushing stuff out to the masses. Just by posting organically. So I actually think right now is easier than it was before to start an Instagram page to build a following from zero.
Dope. Okay. So all right, I start building this page. I got to make this content. I share or borrow content from places, and then but how does that grow my following? Like, how does that grow to where? Because I guess at some point I got to get my page big enough.
Yeah.
Where I can make some money.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. And you don't even have to be super big to make money from Instagram. That's a common misconception that people have. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So what I like to do, a gem for anybody who's watching this, what I like to do is, and this gem has allowed me to grow pages from 0 to 10,000 followers just like that within the span of a month. Wow. Is when I'm growing Instagram theme pages, is literally I'm gonna see something that has went viral before. I tell people this all the time. If it went viral once, it can go viral twice. I'm gonna see something that worked for somebody else, and I'm gonna replicate it for myself. Let's say if I'm a business owner or entrepreneur, I'm gonna replicate it for myself. Or if I own an Instagram theme page, what I'm gonna do is I'm literally gonna find out all the things that went viral for them. Then I'm just gonna post it on my page with my branding and give credits to the respective owner. So a quick little gem is whatever niche your theme page is in. Let's say it's sports highlights. You're gonna go to TikTok. You're gonna type in sports highlights or whatever sport it is that you're specifically talking about, if there is one. You're gonna sort it by the most viral posts. You can't do this on Instagram right now. And I'm literally gonna see what the most viral posts on TikTok are for this one niche. And I'm literally gonna copy a link, whatever it is. I'm gonna take it to a video downloader for TikTok, and then I'm gonna post it on my Instagram theme page. I guarantee you do that 2 to 3 times per day for 30 days straight. I guarantee that your page gets followers organically without you paying a single penny to anybody else to grow your page or anything like that.
Okay, so I go to TikTok and search for the most viral videos.
And the reason we go to TikTok is because TikTok is search-based. It's way easier to find content in a specific niche on TikTok than it is to do it on Instagram. So for example, if I have a boxing theme page, I'm not sure if you're into boxing or not. I'm literally gonna go to TikTok. I'm gonna type in boxing. I'm gonna sort it. And there's 3 dots in the top right. Search filters. I'm gonna click by most liked. The most viral videos are gonna come up. And what I realized is, me and you may not know why something went viral, but it did. It garnished people's attention. They liked it, whatever it was. I don't care if it was the sound on the video. Maybe it was, I don't know. We don't know why something went viral, but it did. And if it worked once, it can work twice. Yeah. If it went viral on this page, why couldn't it go viral on your page? So that's what we do. We get that content. We're posting. It's important, too, that you're consistent. 2-3 times per day, you're posting this content. And before you realize it, you're organically going to be growing your page.
Okay. And so, okay. All right. I get that. So how do I flip that into now making money?
That's a good question. We get that a lot. So there's a plethora of ways that you can make money from your Instagram theme page. Just to name a few, you have selling your own digital or physical products on there.
Okay.
You have affiliate marketing. You have partnerships, just like YouTube partnerships. You also have building your page to sell it. There's so many things you can literally do because you're building this brand. I like to look at Instagram theme pages as brands, as businesses that we're building. So let me give you a quick example. Let's say that I owned an Instagram theme page that was about weight loss, right? All I did was post about tips, tricks, strategies to losing weight, diets, meal plans that you can do to losing weight. And this page had 100,000 followers. We know that all 100,000 people that follow me because I post about what? Weight loss.
Weight loss, yeah.
I post about weight loss. So my question to you is this. Do you think it will be hard to get all 100,000 of these people, and obviously all of them aren't going to do it, but do you think it will be hard to get 5% or even 1% of these followers to buy an ebook from me named How to Lose 100 Pounds in 100 Days?
Yeah, no, probably not.
Because that's something that they're interested in. And this is why I love theme pages so much, because you're building a specific audience based off of the specific content that you post. So let's think a little bit bigger. How would I do this? How can I mix this, merge this with my business? Let's say I sold wigs. What if you own an Instagram theme page where you're posting the coolest hairstyles all over the world that were literally going viral everywhere, and in the link in the bio was a link to your wig store? Or let's say there's literally a plethora of ways that you can do this, but one of the quickest ways to make money with your Instagram theme page is actually selling your own digital or physical product on there as it pertains to your niche. If you have a surfing page, sell some sort of product that helps people become better surfers, or sell surfboards. It doesn't really matter. But as long as you're selling a product as it pertains to your niche, I promise you it's going to come just like that.
Got it. So, all right, so I just started a solar company, right? Would that be hard, you think?
Would it be hard? That's a really good question. Solar is a little bit different simply because solar it's newer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna say it's newer. It's been around, but not as many people are hip to it.
Yep.
So when I'm building something, I want to build something that has a super, super, super big pool of people that
So like AI.
Exactly. AI is a good one. That's a really, really good one.
Okay.
But yeah, that's another genre. Yeah, AI.
There we go. All right, get there. All right. And then when I'm talking about, so I get my product, and then I guess eventually people start coming to me. All right. And maybe they want me to post for them.
Exactly.
Okay. So how, if I'm buying a page, or if I'm selling a page, how do I know like what I should be buying it for, or what I should be selling it for?
Nah, yeah, it's a good question. I actually recommend that you buy your page versus building it from the ground up.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I recommend it is because somebody's already done the legwork for you. You know, sometimes pages grow super duper fast. And remember, we're gambling all on the Instagram algorithm.
Yeah.
And other times pages grow really freaking slow. So let me give you a case in point. We bought an Instagram theme page. This is when after I've been doing this for over a year and I wanted to step my foot into the game and I wanted to actually do this thing. I failed trying to run 3 Instagram theme pages, 18 months wasted down the drain. And I said to myself, all right, I'm done building this thing from scratch. I'm about to just buy a page. So I bought this page. It had 49,000 followers. I paid $6,500. I used a 0% interest business credit card, paid it back off in like 3 months. And by month 3, I made my money back. By month 4, I was making $10,000 a month consistently. Just by posting this content. But I say this to say, I wouldn't have been making that money that fast if it wasn't for me buying this page, because they already built the platform for me. So to answer your original point, Taijaun, how would you go about buying a page? There's a few things I look for. So the very first thing I'm doing is I prefer to buy pages with less than 50,000 followers. Now, the reason I prefer to buy them with less than 50,000 followers is because they don't understand and they don't know what they have. A lot of times these people are probably burnt out. They've been growing this page. It probably hasn't made much money. A whole bunch of things could be going on. And if you ding a little money in their face, they're more likely gonna go for it. The second thing that I'm looking for is that their audience is primarily the United States.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you wanna make sure that you have a buying audience. I mean, nothing against India, but you don't wanna buy a page filled with 90% of Indian followers, because at the end of the day, they're not buyers. Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
So at least a 70% US following, less than 50,000 followers. And if you can get those 2 criteria and their engagement is rather consistent, you can go to a website called socialblade.com.
Okay.
Hover over to Instagram, type their page in. It should have at least a 3% engagement rate. As long as it checks all 3 of those boxes, you can get a page for less than $5,000. If it's a page that has 20,000 followers or less, I wouldn't pay no more than $1,500. But if it's between 20,000 followers and 50,000 followers, I'll pay upwards of $5,000 for that page.
Got it. And then how do I protect myself from getting scammed?
Nah, that's a good question. Funny story, I actually bought a page and I ended up losing it like 2 weeks later. So the things that we do in order to make sure and protect and get our account safe is, if we're buying a page, what I like to do is I like to request a few things. Obviously the username and the password. The next thing I'm gonna request is, what was the original email used to create this account? Now, the reason why I say this, the reason why we request this is because if you were to ever lose your page, the only way Instagram can prove it was in fact your account is by saying, hey, I'm gonna send you an email to whatever email you originally used to create this account. And if this really is rightfully so your account, you would have access to it, correct? So the very next thing we're doing is we're requesting access to the very first email that was used to create this account. I don't want to get too deep into it, but you just go to the settings in your phone and you're easily able to pull up that information. What was the first email used to create this account? So now that we have the email and password for the account, we have the email, we have the password to the original email that was used to create this account.
So we got to get that email account password.
Yes, and I don't care if it's your mom's account, I don't care if it's your account, I don't care whose account it is, I need it. If I can't have it, I'm not buying this account. It's too dangerous. I learned my lesson. And the very next thing you're gonna do is obviously you're gonna change all the passwords, to put on 2-factor authorization, and then at that point your account is 100% secure.
Okay, cool. Got it. Got it. Because I always wondered, I was like, man, because people could just they could hustle you and just like take your money,
100%.
resell it again.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson the hard way with that one, man.
Yeah. So, how much time do you spend like researching before you buy a page? Because you still buy pages now.
Yeah.
But like you start researching like the content and like because posting 2 or 3 times a day. I guess if it's content that's already out there, you're just downloading it, reposting it. You add anything to it? You change it?
Nah, good question. And the crazy thing is nowadays I'm not even posting the content myself.
Oh wow, okay.
Because I automate the entire process. Now we have 2 people in place, and on some of my accounts we have 1 person in place. It's called an account manager and a content curator. The content curator is going to be the person getting all this viral-worthy content for your page. The account manager is going to be the one posting 2 to 3 times per day on your account, allowing it to exponentially grow. And they're going to be managing all the DMs and stuff like that, because people are going to be reaching out to you trying to get posted on your account. Like that's another way to make money from your page.
Yeah.
People reaching out to you getting posted. Like the Shade Room, for example, they charge, I believe it's $7,500 for 1 post on their account.
Dang.
How much does it cost for them to post?
Nothing.
It costs them nothing. Wealth. He charges, it's either $7,500 or $8,500. No, last time I asked him was January something of 2022. It was like last year. He said $7,500 for 1 post on his account. I can only imagine how much that costs now. But the crazy thing is, the thought to me is like, these people are making thousands of dollars just for posting on the account. And what I love about it is, I mean, we're doing this passively now because we have a full team in place, so we don't actually have to post this content ourselves.
Got it. Okay. So what should a person spend on like a team? Or is that something that you all do? Like what is that?
That's a good question. So let me give you an example. We had this one page earlier this year, and this one page, just being fully transparent, this page made us over $150,000 in the span of 6 months. And it got to a point where we were scaling really fast. The person that we had on the page, we were literally paying him $75 a week, so $300 a month. And mind you, this was a 2-for-1 package. He was finding all the content and he was posting all the content. We paid him literally, I cannot make this up, $300 per month, $75 per week. And it got to a point where I felt bad. I was like, we're making all this money and he's not getting nothing. So then what we did was we gave him a percentage, like, hey, 5%. And this also incentivized him to go harder. But to answer your main point, you can get these people on your team managing your account for $300 to $500. And if you're really smart, what you're gonna do is get your lady, get your daughter, your son, a cousin, nephew, whatever, to run this page for you, because 9 times out of 10, you're probably busy, you have things to do. You know, give them access to the resources they need, and they could just do this themselves.
Dang, okay. All right, so let's go back, to before you got to this, right? Because there was obviously a journey to get to this point. Oh, there's a segment of my show I always do, so I'll ask you now. It's called Breakdown and Breakthrough. So, how long have you been an entrepreneur now?
I've been an entrepreneur. What do you want to consider being an entrepreneur? Because would you consider selling candy out of selling Jolly Ranchers out of your lunchbox?
Yeah, I did that. Yes, I would say yeah.
I've been doing that since I was in 7th grade. I don't know how old you are in 7th grade, but I started a t-shirt company when I was 15 years old. So
let's say 5 or 6 years.
I'm 22 now, so 7.
7. Okay, yeah. So let's say 7. All right. So in the 7 years, you probably had some wins, some losses. Right. So I always ask people, like, of course you had to have some type of breakdown, but I also believe there's a lesson that you learn in your breakdown. If you grab it and you apply it, it'll lead to your breakthrough. Have you had any of those? And if you have, would you want to share, like, one, how it helped you and how it's helping you today?
Absolutely. And this especially is for some of my younger people as well, is embrace your losses and be willing to take losses. And the reason I say this is because I was doing what most people wouldn't do in high school. Like in high school, like just think of high school, sophomore, junior Justin. Like my question to you is, do you see yourself investing $1,000, $2,000 into a mentor at that age?
No, probably not.
So I was doing what most people weren't doing at this age. They were partying, getting drunk, doing all these things. And instead, me, every single time I'll get home from 6 p.m., because I went to after school, from 6 p.m. all the way up until about 12 a.m., every single day, I was working on my business and I was investing in myself. And I mean, I saw losses. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would literally get all my money from my Kroger job that I work, dump it into my clothing line. Don't make me no money. I'll get mad, do the same thing the next week, and I'll still be willing to go back and do the same thing, even though I know I just got screwed over. And I just kept on doing this, kept on doing this, kept on doing this. My clothing brand, it went nowhere. It's just in the dirt right now. I then got into drop shipping. 3 stores failed, thousands of dollars down the drain. I said, yo, I'm not about to do this again. Let me invest into someone who's already where I want to be.
Okay.
Mind you, this is 16 going on to 17-year-old Taijaun. And I said, yo, I found this dude. He wanted $2,000 and mentored me. He 6, 7 figures. I think he's 6 figures. He's done 6 figures with drop shipping at the time. I was like, I don't know what I don't know. I have nothing to lose at this point. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to do it. I did it. After investing into that, I had my first win, like my first actual win. I made $18,000 in the span of 3 weeks with one of my dropship stores. Full transparency, it was not 100% profits. It was more so probably like 10% profits. But it was a win. And what I realized was I never gave up. I embraced all my losses and I learned from them. And not only was that kind of like the thing that allowed me to get to the level that I am now, but it taught me character traits that are going to be with me forever. Like, I embrace all my losses now, going into anything and everything I do.
I like that. What kind of character traits you think you picked up from it?
Good question. One character trait being never giving up. Always seeing the, what's the word for it? Always seeing the good.
Yeah, the good in it.
Always seeing the good, even in the bad. Enjoying the process. And just understanding and knowing that what's for me is for me.
Yeah.
A lot of times we beat ourselves up when things don't work out. We down ourselves and all these things when, I mean, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I'm not sure if you're a religious God, but I just believe everything happens in my favor. Yeah. And anything that happens is meant to happen. So one thing that you'll realize about me, I could be in the worst situation ever, and I will still keep a smile on my face. I may not know how it's going to get done, but it'll get done. And I realize that every single situation I've experienced in life, I never stress out because I know that whatever happens, God has my back. And 9 times out of 10, just like that, and the situation is like fixed. Like, I cannot like make that up.
Wow. Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's dope. Okay, so back to the business of the pages, right? So. At this point, you run multiple pages. Yeah. Okay. And so but you don't have to do anything on any of the pages right now. It's completely automated.
Nope, exactly, completely automated. It's just like, I mean, you have a team in place for the things you do. We have a team in place for it, and that's the super dope part about it is because we come up with the idea. Once we come up with the idea, we first look for an opportunity. Once we find an opportunity, we come up with the idea. We execute on getting it made. And we put somebody in place to run the page for us, 100% hands off.
Okay. So that's you do that every single month. Like, okay, we're gonna find a page.
And it wouldn't be every single month, but whenever I see an opportunity, right? You said something a little earlier. I'm not gonna repeat it, but it was a crazy opportunity, and we did very good things in that niche.
Got it. Okay. So you might do multiple pages at the same time.
Yes.
Got it. All right, that's good. I like this conversation. This is good.
Yeah.
Good. And so you've never thought about like doing the same thing on like TikTok or something, right?
It's a good question. So we actually did think about doing the same thing. So actually, one of our pages, what we did was, we know that Instagram was the start of it. We built this thing up. We have millions of people watching our page. We're getting millions of impressions, and we took that same audience and we took it to different platforms. Because what I realized is, think about any business it is you want to start. Any business it is you want to start. It's super duper hard getting people to follow that business, like the business, buy your services, watch it, whatever that may be. So for example, we said, okay, cool. We have this Instagram page. At this time, we probably have 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 followers in the span of a couple months. And we're like, yo, we need to take this off of Instagram and put this on another platform. We started a YouTube channel, did the same thing. We started a TikTok brand, did the same thing. So now we're posting on 3 different platforms, all growing as one thing because the idea is still the same. Yeah. Growing an audience on a social media platform and monetizing off of it. So 110%. Like, I've thought about doing it off of TikTok. We've executed and we've done it off of TikTok. Where we continuously find the most of our success is going to be on Instagram. But when you want to kind of start to become not necessarily a monopoly, but when you want to go guerrilla and you want to be seen everywhere and you want to really make this thing a brand, then you're going to go to YouTube. You're going to go to TikTok. I even seen some people, I don't know if you heard about it, but Twitter rolled out this thing where people are getting paid just for tweeting. Like I saw this one guy, he made like $15,000-$20,000 just in a month off of tweeting. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a unique. That's unique. So, all right. So, I come with this idea. The average person, okay, they want to start a business in this lane. Mm-hmm. Like if I was to compare it to like any other business, what would I need? You know, like drop shipping. It's like, hey, you can start.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, what is this type of model? What does that look like?
I'm not gonna lie to you. This business model, in my honest, humble opinion, it outdoes every single business model. And I'm not just saying that because I do it, but it's the only real business model that I understand, that I know, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that I know that ultimately costs you nothing to get started. It costs you nothing. I mean, most people have phones. If you don't have a phone, you need a phone.
Yeah.
But most people have phones. It costs you nothing to go to your app store, download Instagram. It costs you nothing to create an account. It costs you nothing to post on a platform. But if you do it consistently enough, people will pay you everything just to be on your page. People will pay you just from your page. Like there is literally a plethora of ways that you go out there and make money from it. I like to call it the most low risk, high reward business model there is. Now with low risk business models, sometimes can they be slower? Absolutely. But my question to you is this: would you rather get into, let's just say Amazon FBA, spend hundreds if not thousands of dollars on products just to hope that it's gonna sell on Amazon,
right?
Or drop shipping where you're gonna spend all this money just to hope to get a sale, or all these other business models? Or would you rather start something, let's say you're a beginner entrepreneur, where you can just get your feet wet, you can do it, it costs you nothing, and all it's gonna take is you tapping into a different side of you, which is just you being consistent and not giving up, because most people give up.
Yeah, that's like, I like it. I'm kind of interested. I'm trying to think. Excuse me. What kind of page would I do? I think definitely highlights. I think would be
Sports
fun.
highlights. Yeah, I mean, look where we at, man. Sports highlights is gonna be the way.
Yes, I might. Maybe a football page. I think that might be my lane.
No.
Like, is that too oversaturated though?
I wouldn't say it's too oversaturated. You could do anything. I mean, think about it like this. I don't know.
You shot down my solo idea. You said that's trash, bro. That's not gonna do it.
It's a little tricky because there's not enough consuming content, entertaining content, I should say, rather.
Yeah.
In that niche. But with sports highlights, think about it. I don't know if you have a little cousin, little nephew, little niece, but imagine you started the sports highlights page and it wasn't even to make money, but you took a different approach with sports highlights and you showcased up and coming athletes that are trying to get to that next level. So think of a Baller's Life. What does Baller's Life do? That's what they do. They showcase up and coming talent, and I promise you, Baller's Life is the reason why you see a lot of the athletes you see. I don't care what anybody says. Is when it comes to, and some people, you're just naturally that good, and people see it. But when it comes to being a professional athlete, for example, I don't care what anybody says. You have to know the right people that know the right people. You have to have connections. And imagine if you were the source where people can come to you, you own Baller's Life, you can post this person, and you have a good chance of them getting to that next level or being seen by them college coaches just because of that. Imagine that. Would you pay as a high school athlete, if you knew this, would you pay to get seen in front of all the biggest coaches that probably follow this page? Would you pay for that?
For sure, yeah.
Exactly, it's worth it. So if I were you, I'd start a page, something like sports highlights, but take a different approach. Baller's Life kind of approach, I think.
Got it, yeah. Okay, I like that. What would you say to like millennial, and I wouldn't say millennial entrepreneurs, but like people that are like early 20s, because I think the great thing about today's world is you can literally start early on social media. I think 100%. The challenge is so many things to do. And I mean, it affects people that are not, in their 20s. It affects people even older, but I think it definitely, there's so many ways you can do drop shipping, Amazon.
Yeah,
you can do all the stuff, trading, options. I mean, it's like, okay, so what would you say to a young entrepreneur that's like, they're trying to figure out what they need to do, but also how to stay focused on something?
I would definitely say do something that you know that you're gonna stick to, and when you do it, at least instill some type of discipline in yourself and some schedule that you're gonna follow. The reason I say this is because a lot of times we start things without having any structure as to how we're gonna do it. So we're just gonna start it and do it. So for example, when I started drop shipping, I had a structure. I knew every single day when I got home from at 6 o'clock, I was doing it until midnight. And every single day I made it a habit to instill this thing in me where I'm just working at it. What you see a lot of times is a lot of young 20-year-olds, young millennials, they will move from thing to thing to thing to thing hoping that this is going to be the next big thing that blows up for them. But what they're not realizing is the reason they're not seeing success in that one thing that they could have seen success in is there was no structure and they're not being consistent. Having structure and being consistent is literally, in my opinion, the cheat code to seeing success in your young 20s, and even if you're not 20 years old.
Okay, I like that, bro. I like it. What would you do? What do you feel like is next for you?
For me, diversifying and just really. That's a good question. I never really thought about that. Diversifying is definitely one of those things. I hate to say it at such a young age, but protecting my wealth, so to say, like the money I made, protecting it.
Smart, yeah.
Not, just throwing it off. You would never see me, and let me not say never, but I'm not the Lamborghini type of guy. I'm not the big man. That's just not me. Yeah. But what's next for me is, I think, focusing on what's to come, and I never really thought about that. You got me with that one.
You're in your run right now, so you don't got to go too far. But like, you definitely gonna be thinking like, okay, what does that next level look like?
Yeah, I think if I was to say anything, if I was to give you a direct, tangible, is starting some software company as it pertains to social media and needing this to help you alleviate a lot of the stress that you go through with social media.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that, man. That's good stuff, bro. So if I want to learn this, because you're the only person I know that talks about this point, I learned a lot today. How would somebody find you and learn about this?
No, 100%. You can find me on Instagram at Taijaun, Taijaun. We actually have a challenge coming up, a 5-day challenge, where we're going to be breaking down how to build, start, and scale your very first or your next Instagram theme page from scratch. We're going to be bringing on some of the biggest pages. I'm trying to get the shade room, but don't hold me to it. Wealth, spiritual work, some of the biggest pages that you probably know and that you probably follow. We're going to have them sharing all their knowledge in the game, how they did it, most importantly, how I did it, and how they can do it as well.
Oh, that's super dope, man. All right, cool. Look forward to tapping into that, seeing how that works. You know what I'm saying?
Brother.
I'm going to figure this page thing out. I'm going to find something. I think maybe dogs too. Dogs might. I don't know.
No, dog pages grow fast.
They do? Okay, all right, cool. We're going to figure out. So he's like, no, you got to get on the challenge. All right, cool. Well, man, I appreciate you coming through, bro. This is really good. I learned a lot, like I said. And I want to see kind of how you can continue to progress. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be great for you to continue to grow. And I'm impressed, man. You said 21?
22.
22, bro. That's big.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
This is a different world of entrepreneurs. So, look, if you feel like you're too young, you're not. And if you feel like you're too old, you're not. All right? If you're shy, you can get out here. You can build a business with no face. What else can you say to that? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to show up yourself every day. So if you don't win doing that, I think you're just lazy. I think that's what that means, right?
100%.
Yeah, so listen, y'all, we always give you the top plays. Today, you just learned how to go out here and build another stream of income. Really could be another passive stream of income that you can work on building over the next, 12 or 18 months as well, man. So y'all tap in with Taijaun. Looking forward to seeing this challenge, bro. And congratulations, man.
I appreciate you, brother. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Good stuff, man. What's going on? Listen, make sure you guys go to runtheplaystore.com. Get your official Run the Play gear. We talk about shirts, socks, jackets for everybody that's Run the Play all across the world.
Are you ready? We're gonna run the play. Let's
go. Do you know what it's like to come from nothing at all, but every day you just wanting it all? Do you know what it's like? Every day facing your fear, but believing that your blessing is near. Do you know what it's like? Growing up broker than most,